Welcome to this week's edition of the Church Office. PJ,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Boy, I'm doing just great. I have services this weekend, which
Yes,
means
right.
I'm prepping, sermon and Bible study and that stuff. So I'm excited. I'm following right up. You talked about Jesus and the children with Jesus, and you talked about what it means to have childlike faith
childlike
and
faith,
what it doesn't mean too.
What it does and what it does.
That.
Right, exactly.
And my story just continues right on in that it's the same story. It didn't, so I'm gonna go and it's a rich young ruler, and we're gonna dive right back in. So
looking forward to it. Awesome. So I thought it would have been easier to have this filmed in my office since that's where you left your coffee cup today.
Yeah. It's actually not the first place I left it. I also left it over here in the West Gallery once. Actually, Diane brought this to me once today too in my office. I can't remember where she said she found it. But
I'm going with Arsenal. I'm going full Arsenal today.
Yeah.
With the Gunners. All right, the Premier League team that I follow, because my son-in-law Josh, who's been on the program, has followed. I don't get this though, man. Is this the thumb through the shirts? Have you seen this? Is this a soccer thing?
I guess I've seen people do that.
Is it a European thing? I don't know where this comes from.
Is it so the sleeve doesn't come up?
Yeah, it's weird. Does it protect the palms? I'm not sure what's happening with that.
Know.
But if you know and can let us know, leave that in the comments. Greatly appreciated. All right. So in our prayers this week, obviously those affected by the 2 hurricanes that rolled through. So just keep that in your prayers. You'll have an opportunity. We're taking a door offering and we're collecting funds. We work through Lutheran Church Missouri Synod Hurricane Relief.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take an offering. If you want to take some time, write a check. That's all going to be explained. Denise is going to include that in her news and notes as well. Yeah. There'll be information in the bulletin for how that works. And then those funds go to the hurricane relief. And then from there, it's kind of distributed to those churches and people in areas that need it. Yeah. But it's just easier for us to work directly through.
Yeah, coordinated effort with our church body.
That's going to be happening this week. We want to make sure we get that out there. Trunk or Treat is this Sunday.
That's gonna be fun.
Love the Trunk or Treat event. Love the Trunk or Treat event. I've got a great helper there in my friend Owen, who helps out with the Northwest parking lot.
He's your parking buddy.
Owen and I, we work well together.
Yeah.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Okay, that's good.
The way that we work that.
It's a lot of cars. It's more cars than we have spots for.
It's a ton of cars. If you can help out with that, it's greatly appreciated. You get to wear a vest.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you have
a high vis
vest.
Yeah,
you get a wand. You can pretend it's a lightsaber if you're into Star Wars and that kind of a thing. PJ, did you see the stack of flyers?
Yeah,
because we put our worship times and everything else. The stack of flyers that was cut for this thing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you didn't have to cut that.
No, I heard Jessica talking about the task of cutting it, and I do not envy having to cut it. We got the big cutting machine, but still.
Well, the one with the arm. I've been banned from the one with the arm. I've been banned from that one. It's like the baler in the office.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm banned from the other one, which is you basically. You spin the crank.
You know what I saw? I didn't know what that thing was.
I know that because when I worked at the paint factory, when you put paint labels on 5-gallon buckets, so you know the thing that goes around the gallon, right?
No.
So the
seal the can?
The label that goes around the gallon, right?
Oh,
the label that goes around the gallon.
Yeah.
Here's Ben Moore's genius idea. Rather than make a different label, you simply took the gallon label and you cut off the sides. You cut off this side, you cut off that side, so you just had the picture that was on there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that was I remember that. Anyway, so when I got here to church, I saw that and I said, why does Christ the King have Ben Moore's label cutter?
Right.
Anyway, so it's a long way to say the stack of papers was this high.
Yeah.
It was this high. Yeah. That's had to be 1,500?
Yeah.
I mean, we have over 1,000 people on the campus.
We're going to hand those all out on Sunday.
We could use some more candy.
Yeah.
In the next couple of days, if you're out and about, if you can get us some candy, I know it's expensive. We apologize. The cost of candy's gone up so much. But we could use some more. If you can drop it off here at Trenton Road, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Even Sunday morning.
Yeah.
If you bring it with you to church, that's fine. You or I can we can throw it in the back of your truck.
Yep. I'm going straight from here to probably my good friends at Parthenon, right?
Yeah, for a little refreshment.
Little breakfast, little brunch, and then straight to the Which, by the way, how's Parthenon not a sponsor?
Oh, wow.
Gotta talk to Eddie. Gotta see what Eddie's up to. You know, anyway.
That would be great.
Trike race is tomorrow.
Mhm.
We're looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
And so if you're coming to church this weekend, the track will probably still be there.
Yeah, I think you'll see some evidence of the trike race. Yeah.
The sidewalk chalk.
Yep.
The kids, we've been having a lot of fun with that.
Yep.
It's been a great time. This month is Every Member in Ministry. We really encourage you to fill out your Every Member in Ministry form. As you know, the church is made up of volunteers, and we are the body of Christ, and to kind of find out where you can pitch in and help out, and so we greatly appreciate that. So we'll be talking about that over the next couple of weeks, and I believe the 20th we're turning these in.
During service.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else is going on. So we'll just take a minute and just shout out to our Detroit Lions. Big game against the Detroit Tigers. How exciting is the playoff baseball right now?
I actually
DJ?
did. You told me about what's been happening. I was sort of unaware.
Yeah.
There was some buzz, but I actually did watch part of the game just yesterday when they won again.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so it was that was kind of fun.
What's so funny is when you hear people talk about the Tigers on the national level, like the guys I watch on ESPN, they continually have no idea who they're talking about because these Tigers, they're just not a famous team.
They're not household names.
No, they're not household names because they were they had a 0.5% chance of making the playoffs on August 11th or something like that. And so, Kerry Carpenter, who hit the big home run, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, strong Christian, by the way. He did. Every time he talks, he gives a great witness. And I love it when athletes, obviously we love it.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
athletes, kind of give that witness. So it was kind of cool to him say that. But yeah, they continually refer to him as, this guy I've never heard about. No name Kerry Carpenter, this guy.
Yeah.
And he's he's one of our best hitters. Anyway, so Lions, Tigers, and no Bears. All right, you familiar with that? Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
I have heard the
Lions,
Tigers, and Bears.
So Lions, Tigers, and no Bears.
Lions, Tigers, no Bears.
We don't like the Chicago Bears. Sorry to my cousin Joel, huge Bears fan. He's from Chicago. My daughter Leah lives in Chicago. I wonder if she's a Bears fan yet.
I wouldn't think so.
I hope not. I think she's got more sense than that. Leah. All right. So we've got that. Anything else I'm missing?
No, that's plenty. We got a lot going on right now.
Donation Station big sale coming up too.
That's right,
we got
too.
A couple weeks for that.
Yep.
All right. But the thing we wanted to especially encourage you today, set aside October 27th because we've got a special worship plan for Reformation.
Yeah.
And we're going to do things a little bit different. We've kind of getting a bit creative, not super crazy different, but just enough because we all know that the event that we remember on Reformation Day is Martin Luther nailing the 95 Theses to the church door at Wittenberg against the sale of indulgences. There's the history there. We want to connect that to our Christian faith in a somewhat unique way. And so we're going to do things just a touch differently, so I want to just October 27th. Yeah. I really want to.
That whole weekend. Yeah.
The whole weekend. Yep. Yeah. Yep. All the services.
Yeah.
It's one of those services where if you're thinking of bringing a friend to church, it'd be a good one to invite them to.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. It'd be a good one to invite them to. So I just want to throw that out there, which then brings up the whole topic of worship.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me to thinking about that a little bit. We here, Christ the King, truly believe that we worship God in a variety of ways. We can do praise songs. We can do kind of classic hymns. We can go with some liturgy that you might remember if you're old like me from when I was a kid. We can go all the way back to page 5 and 15. Some people know what that means. We can go with Lutheran worship. All right, some people know what that means. Or we can go with the Lutheran service book, which is what's in the
pews.
In the pews. Well, actually, LW's in the pews now. No,
it is.
That's right. That's right. My bad. Yeah. LW was in the pews and that. But my point is this: to think that there's only one way to worship God really limits the worship of God.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's really how God made us.
Yeah.
Right? He gave us a variety of instruments. He gave us a variety of voices. So some better than others,
right?
We can sing in harmony, we can sing in melody. God wants us to worship Him in a variety of ways, and it reminds me of John chapter 4 when Jesus meets the woman at the well. which, by the way, I was reading the Lutheran Study Bible.
Uh-huh.
They don't call it the woman at the well anymore.
What do they call?
You know what they call it?
No.
Jesus and the woman from Samaria.
Oh yeah, okay. The Samaritan woman instead of the woman
Come
at the well.
on. I mean, you're gonna
It
change
doesn't have the
that.
same ring to it. That's
No,
for sure.
you can't sing Jesus met the woman of Samaria.
Well, actually, it doesn't sound too bad.
Thank you, PJ. Thank you. Would you have kicked me out of the family quartet? Be honest.
No, I would not have kicked you out of the family
Liar.
quartet. You haven't been officially kicked out, have you? I mean,
I think I have been.
it's official now.
I think it is
Susan
official. I think
has stepped in enough times.
Susan
that
has stepped in enough.
it's official.
It's kind of like it's like a common law wife situation.
Yeah.
She stepped in, and
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not bitter or anything. Here's the phrase that has always jumped out at me. When Jesus, because they're arguing about worship, right? Remember the argument.
Yeah.
You know, that's there. It's like some people we got to worship God here on Mount
Mm-hmm.
Gerizim. Some people say in Jerusalem, and so that kind of jumped out at me is that there's worship wars 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's not new. It's not new.
They're still arguing about that. And what does Jesus say? God's people worship Him in spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
What does it mean to worship God in spirit and in truth? It really comes down to Jesus being God.
Okay. Yeah.
There's only one wrong way to worship, and that's if you don't acknowledge that Jesus is God.
Right.
And that it is through Him that He is the way, the resurrection, and the life. That's the only
Yeah.
way you can mess up worship.
Yeah.
The only way you can mess up worship is if you get that wrong. And hopefully by the grace of God, we don't. Because I would hope that everyone that joins us for worship knows that we're putting Jesus first. And just the blessing that worship is. I know that I think you as a kid, you really liked worship, right? I mean, you genuinely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As a kid.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had to grow into it.
Had to grow on me.
Yeah.
No, but you genuinely enjoyed it. But it shows too. It shows in your positivity, and that's why I love sitting down and talking about these things with you.
Yeah.
So this past week, I was in Manistee playing some golf.
Yep.
Manistee National, all right, wonderful, kind of a neat place. And I tell the story because Monday, when the Tigers won that big game that you said you had watched, and Kerry Carpenter hit the 3-run home run.
Yep.
It was after we played golf, and it was a 3:00 game, so it was ending around supper time, and we were in kind of the bar and grill area of the golf course. And what happens is when a group of people get together and watch a sporting event, they don't know each other, but you almost immediately create this group. Very dynamic.
Yep.
In which you're all in this together.
Yep.
And we don't know each other from Adam. We all come from different parts of Michigan because it's a resort. A lot of people were there. It was really crowded for being October.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather. Anyway, the point is, you in between innings, we're talking to each other. Right? We're finding out where folks are from, and like, oh, we need this to happen, and this to happen, and this to happen. And so there's about 25, 30 of us in this area, and Carpenter just turns on the third hanging slider. You throw a slider 3 times and you hang the third one, that ball is going to go a long way, and it did. And the place erupted, absolutely erupted, because you're all in this together, and really that's what worship is.
Yeah,
worship is a celebration of Jesus' resurrection, and we're all in this together. And that's why we encourage you to be a part of it. And my guess is if you're watching this now, you probably are connected with our ministry to be involved in worship, or maybe watching this from somewhere else. And you live in a different state or different city or whatever that might be. To have a place where you can gather as a group and feel that joy of what God has done for us and what He's doing for us, the hope that we have when we struggle, when we have to carry burdens. It's such a gift. Worship is such a gift.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get there.
Yeah,
I did that as a kid, but you've had it as well, and so I just wanted to share that word of encouragement with folks. All right, what is your favorite part of this? Do you have a favorite part of worship when you were growing up? Do you have a favorite part of worship? I know it is. Yeah, but hey, has it changed for you over the years? I can say my favorite part was the end when I was a kid.
The last song.
I just remember singing, when he'd sing the Nunc Dimittis, because the Nunc Dimittis is what you sang it, and I knew then as a kid, all right, we're almost done.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
So they changed. All right, go ahead.
I think about there's 2 really big things that are happening, sometimes almost at the same time in our worship service, right? And the first and most important one is that God is coming to us,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he is coming to us in communion, in baptism. When we have baptism, he's coming to us through his word, and he's giving us forgiveness and life and salvation.
Yeah.
And of those things that we do on a weekly basis, where we see God coming to us, it's got to be communion for me. When we're all together, because it's so unique.
Yeah.
I mean, not only are we coming into communion with God, we're also coming into communion with each other as the body of Christ. And there's just something that is unmatched.
Yeah.
Anything else we do in this life,
Yeah.
but communing together at the altar is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we do is, we respond back to that, right? With praising, with singing, and that happens every week too. And I think from that side of it is, I think the music is my favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
I just singing together, and I love to sing old hymns. I love to sing, new praise songs. I love just about all of it. I love. So
half the time I'll walk by and PJ's in the church playing the piano, and I never know if you're just in there playing for fun or you're practicing something.
Yeah.
50-50?
Yeah.
60-40?
Honestly, I would say that it's all one thing. I mean, sometimes it's just for fun. Sometimes it's a new song I heard, and sometimes it's an old hymn that I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
Yeah. And so I'll go in there about 15 minutes after you're done playing, and I get your cup and I bring it to you.
Right. That's right.
One of my favorite things is when the congregation does two things. When they confess the creed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
I kind of try to tune out a little bit myself, and I tune into hearing.
Yeah.
Confession.
Listen. Yeah.
When you listen to that confession, it's so cool. For me, because it takes us back to it's 2,000 years old.
Yeah, it is.
And the Apostles' Creed especially grew organically when people were simply asked, what do you? It was part of the baptism ceremony. What do you believe? And that's what they said. So it takes us back 2,000 years. I love that, and it looks forward.
Yeah.
As long as there are Christians in the world, which there will be, God promises there will always be a remnant. The Apostles' Creed is going to be spoken.
Yeah.
Right? The Apostles' Creed is going to be spoken. And that's just amazing. Until the trumpet sounds.
Right.
Jesus is going to come back. The only thing that's going to stop the Apostles' Creed being spoken in the Lord's Prayer is the same thing. Those two things is when the trumpet sounds.
Right. When faith becomes sight. When faith is gone.
Yeah.
But until there's faith.
Yeah.
Those words will be spoken by Christians.
I kind of like that as well. So, all right. So with that, then, thanks. I think pretty much that's kind of our update.
Yeah.
We hope to see you in the next coming weeks. A lot of stuff going on, and that's it from us from the church office. We will talk to you next time.